Greetings, YouTube! Welcome to the Dark Heresy Session 12, and today, well, I've taken over, so Rob has no control over what's going to be said here. Wait a minute, what? Oh, no, don't you dare! No, he's faded me out, I'm fading out, damn it.
Yeah, nice try, Laurie. Nice try. But...
damn you, live editing!
That's right, live editing wins every time. I edited me in, you see.
Yes.
And we're back. Let's get straight on with this. Session 12 was pretty interesting. We're in the middle of something right now from the time we had to cut off.
Oh, yeah.
So, we were playing Tattered Fates, which is book 1 in the Harlock's Legacy. Now, you might remember from the end of the last session, we had the whole Harlock dealy-doo.
Yep.
And certain bits of information uncovered. And again, I'm going to say that we want to sort of like try and keep it a bit interesting. So I'm probably going to suggest that if you're going to approach Harlock's Legacy as a player, then you may want to take some caution in the watching of this video, because there's probably going to be some spoilers in it. I don't really want to avoid some of the things here.
At the beginning of this adventure, the entire group is taken prisoner by a bunch of slavers.
Yeah, we just read this really creepy, crazy roller coaster of a ride narrative. Everything's gone dark, and we've seen this, and we can see again, and now everything goes dark again from after a bit more described to us, and it's really crazy. We start off with nothing. I wanted to check to see if we were in the nud or not, just so that the women could have their decency still. We had some cloth rags on and that, and we were in a pit. Yes. What came straight to mind here was seeing the bits of bone and chunks of scrap metal, and the way it was laid out was, oh, okay, this is probably some sort of fighting arena. And a couple of our number decide, well, it was the Scum and it was Padraig as well, so it was Kisdine and Padraig. They decide they're going to go check out the grates, the openings that lead into the area, and they check this out with the sister and my assassin following up very close behind to watch their backs. And the gates suddenly open and out pour some weird dog things. Some weird xeno-y alien dog things that kind of look like
really
alligator jaw thingy snappiness. Not too bad. And we fought them pretty well. The only outstanding thing to mention about that is Jerichus doing his acrobatics, leaping up onto one of the things back, with a spare belt that he managed to pick up in the arena there, wrapped it round its throat and started riding it round the neck, and then fell onto its back and started...
I has a mount.
Exactly, and started choking it out. We formed up these makeshift weapons, basically, in the arena, and fought them with that, because we didn't obviously have our weapons. Yeah. So we had to recover what we could from there, so there was like bones and things, so we smashed we'd smashed the bones to try and like create sharp things, and some of the splinters I pocketed. We had some other NPCs in there as prisoners, and most of them got eaten.
Yeah, they weren't too smart. They're like running around in circles, Benny Hill style, while they're being chased.
Yeah. And there was one left alive at the end, but we noticed there was a ladder that had been lowered or something. Yeah. And I quickly bound up it, climbed it, and the creatures got set out as a wave 2. And the NPC got eaten, but the rest of us were sort of coming up the ladder by that point. So I checked out the top and scoped it out, and everything was fine and dark up there. Dark's okay, as long as we're alone in it. And there was a corpse up there, that still counts as alone, with some items on it. Didn't really make a whole lot of sense, except the clue saying that your Inquisitor has been betrayed, just as mine was, and all this, which wasn't necessarily a note for us, because how would they know we're? I don't know.
Acolytes, no.
It's hard to say, really, but I guessed it correctly. I said, look, I think we're here for people's entertainment. I think we're kind of here for like a like a game show type thing. There are a lot of like dummy hooks there, a lot of ways to get off the beaten path and really screw you up, isn't there? Because the room we were in there, it was mentioned, okay, there's an open door, but there's a bunch of locked doors, right?
Yeah.
Now, Jez, said, all right, well, because we managed to get our gear back, didn't we?
Yeah.
There was chests there conveniently laid out. And we were
As
saying,
you expect in one of these silly situations.
Saying, when you escape from something, why do they put all of your items that you previously had when you were captured in a chest conveniently in the room next door for you to be able to recover
conveniently
fully?
labelled as well. So
the way you could go wrong is, having recovered our items, the scum could have used the multi-key to try and pick those locked doors.
yeah, I could just have it that they're impossible to pick.
Yeah, but then we just sort of asked, look, are we just wasting our time and just elongating the adventure? And Laurie we said, yeah, basically, because these aren't really rooms for the scope of this. So we don't mind when it's that. We just say, all right, okay, fair enough. Let's carry on, everybody. Open door. Let's go through the open door. Da 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 da. On the rails we go. But yeah, those things happen sometimes.
If you really wanted to search the rooms, I could have had some recommended extra encounters be put in, but...
So, next, the doorway opened into a very, very big room indeed. It was a warehouse sort of thing, wasn't it? Wasn't it a warehouse? Was it?
Yeah. Well, big warehouse. They labelled us Vault 13.
Yeah, see, that number's come up again, guys. 13. Yeah. And now we've got someone of Harlock's bloodline with us. I'm wondering how much he's the cause of this somehow.
Could be possible.
Yes. So we've ended up trapped here, and obviously this going on, and then there's a whole load of boxes there, and I cut one open and found a bunch of body parts, and we can hear gunfire going on, and it turns out there's an Inquisitor fighting for her life against a bunch of guards. Now here's the crazy thing. It's our Inquisitor.
Oh, yeah.
And she's been mortally wounded, and so we go in and start gunning the guards down to try and take them all out. And before we can attend to her, we have company.
Oh, yeah.
From the lift.
Yep. Some
security and a Mr. Whiplash guy. With a...
That's what you just nicknamed him right now.
Yep. Mr. Whippy.
Mr. Whippy.
Mr. Whippy.
Yes, his actual name is Jackal Mask.
Yes, he's got a jackal mask. And you'll notice that these different animal masks and their wearers is quite an important factor.
Yeah, flanked by 2 pig mask guards.
He seemed quite carefree about the safety of his men, didn't he?
Yeah. They came out the medical tent. They went to the lift after he pretty much killed one of the techie people there, complaining about how Heron had brought in an Inquisitor.
It's like, oh yeah, why have you brought an Inquisitor to us? And just kills the techie and then gets on the lift. Now, you said something very, very important there as the GM.
Yeah.
That the lift was going up slowly.
Yes.
And now, I don't know...
I could have said it was going down slowly if I really wanted to, and then Jerkus would have jumped down onto it.
See, I don't know if the book was trying to facilitate, or it mentioned that some clever players might try and take the initiative here.
It didn't mention how fast the lift was going, but I was presuming that... Well, you see in all these games how the lift goes...
Yeah.
So...
See, now, that's the thing. It was an open platform lift, as far as I was aware. Not an enclosed one.
It looked like one.
And as such, the warehouses had boxes stacked quite high. So, automatically saw, right, masked guy, in control. He's obviously heretical. He's just attacked one of his own and taken him out with his whips. He looks real dangerous. I mean, if he'd have got away, we'd have had to face him anyway. So Jerichus made a bolt for it. Started scrambling across the room, scrambling up the boxes and jumping from box to box to get higher. Because they're stacked up quite high. And Kisdeen followed, actually.
Yep.
And the other 2 attended to the Inquisitor.
At least attempted to.
And tried to hold off
the remaining Heretic and a bunch of Servitor or Silver Skulls type dealio.
Okay, so they had their little fight on their hands, and we had our little thing to do.
Yes, and so far through this adventure, the Battle Sisters come in and like, right, forward out.
Yeah, the Battle Sisters gun is just a death machine, isn't it? DPS-wise, why is the Battle Sister's power, what damage output so good? What is she doing?
She's using a Storm Bolter. A Storm Bolter basically has 2 clips attached to it that fire at the same time. When you fire and you get a hit, you double the amount of hits. On a full auto, if all the hits go through, it's basically hitting for 8 bullets instead of the natural 4 that's on the gun's profile. And it's something like 2d10 damage for each shot.
And of course it's tearing as well, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
So you roll 2d10 and pick the best.
So technically you roll
D10s.
4d10.
Yeah.
Even the normal bolter for the sister is pretty powerful on that front, has the tearing roll, but doesn't have the storm roll though.
But she's picked up the best quality one, which gives bonus to hit and all the other goody stuff. And stuck a red dot on there, so that's another plus 10% ballistics.
Yeah.
For hitting. So if you know what to do, you can really stack those things up to really start pushing your hit chance up to like the 80s, definitely 70s, 80s.
Yeah.
If you're a dedicated shooter type, and then with the right sort of like aim situations and or certain close range circumstances, you can you get into the hundreds.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Which is madness, isn't it?
Pretty much you are hitting. It's just you're rolling to see if you're going to jam or something.
So while they mopped up downstairs like that, we did our dashing run from box to box, and both of us managed to jump to the lift and pull ourselves up on there. And there was the guy with his security.
Yep.
So we engaged them and started attacking them.
Yeah.
I jumped over one of their heads with an acrobatics check and tried to mule kick him straight off the lift, but that failed. It didn't hit him hard enough, so he didn't quite fall off the lift. And then Kizdeen managed to pretty much bring one low.
She took the Jackal Mask guy's head clean off. She cold shot with a shotgun and blew his head off.
Because Kizdeen, as the scum, can cold shot body parts for free without the penalty now.
Yeah.
Bear in mind
that's a talent. 2 separate talents to get that.
Yeah, there's the first one that gives you minus 10 instead of minus 20, which is the prerequisite for the one to being able to do it free.
Yeah.
With no minus. The other 2 were really freaked out.
Yeah.
Jerichus did a nice Street Fighter uppercut and took one straight off the lift. And just as the others were looking, this body came falling down from the...
Yeah, so Pedrega's running over to try and set the lift to stop and come back down.
Yes.
The guy lands face first in front of Pedrega. He's like, Jerichus, what do you do?
It's raining mooks. Hallelujah. We just realised the lift was still going up. So we were like, we're going to be cut off from the team here. Uh-oh. So I shouted down, hey, quick, find some way to override this control. We don't want to end up there. And if they weren't going to be able to do it, I said, well, look, if it's one of those end of platform type ones that doesn't enclose in around itself up to a level, then I'll hang off the edge so they don't even know anyone's come up on the lift. They managed to mess around with the controls. Pedrega managed to, and the sisters' efforts managed to, Sophia, bring the thing back down.
Yep.
Now, it's quite funny because we did take the lift back up then altogether. And Laurie said, all right, end of section, handed out the experience. Everyone stopped and spent their experience. And we were joking. We were saying, well, okay, in computer game terms, loading screen, major loading screen, loading next section. And that was funny. I joked to the group and said, well, it's a good job we didn't go up on that lift because we would have been out of it in a loading screen while you're still waiting for us. As we departed, our Inquisitor lost her life from the wounds she'd suffered. Even though we tried taking her to the surgery station, the medical bay, we couldn't save her. I think she's meant to die, really.
Well, those module things where it's meant to happen, no matter what you try and do.
So we tried gaining whatever information we could out of her. I like how Pedrega was already looting her while she was still alive, watching him.
Yes, Kizdeen was like, I haven't tried doing that yet, and I don't have any morals.
I'm the thief, and I wouldn't even do that, Kizdeen said. Her last wish was for us to cremate her body so that they can't get at the remains, so we were very, very cautious about how to ignite the body to best burn it up.
Oh, Pete.
Yeah, Pete said that the Artest family have a method of cremating their dead by stuffing every single orifice, and he means every single orifice.
In this case, he wanted to try and shove inferno shells in there.
Then, at the top, there was a plaza.
Yep.
And there was a carnival. And we find out that we are on a sort of pleasure planet, where it sounds very Slaneshi, doesn't it?
Yes. The fact it's just got pleasure in the word.
And there was a number of places we can check out, and I got a feeling like we were being watched. Just before she died, the Inquisitor said that she'd arrived tracking me, actually, on my tracking beacon.
Whatever that is right now.
One of her agents had managed to escape, an old, insightful adept for us. We managed to catch up with him at the library-type area.
Yes. The librarian in this case.
And he gave us knowledge of, as best as he could,
as only an adept can,
about what is actually going on this planet. So, essentially, what this all boils down to, guys, is that there's a great big demonic essence that's locked up away somewhere in association to this planet, and it seems to be Harlock's vengeance, or rage, manifested into some sort of demonic presence, creature. The fact that the star alignments are as such that a star is coming in any time now, like the next day, on the 13th hour, and it will bring about a mass change of sort of psycho phenomenon and lots of other things going on. We don't quite know the details of what's going to happen, but we believe that it's going to release this creature that will then destroy the world, so we have to stop it getting released.
It was also at this point that a bunch of Heron's men showed up.
So, again, with the Heron mask.
And like, give us the adept, and we will let you live.
And we're like, yeah, okay, open fire. We took them out quick, didn't we? We dispatched them.
Yeah, as you would expect from low-ranking novices.
Is it just a coincidence that there's easy coming against us, or is it just that it's not been accounted for, ranked up to our rank 6 levels?
I think it's recommended for rank 6 anyway.
Really?
Yeah.
Because we're finding it really easy. Especially in these combats, yeah.
But then again, you've been fighting weak opponents who are pretty much human and have fleshy parts invaded to armor. It was then suggested by the adept that we go speak to a woman known as the Spider Bride.
Yes, connected in a web of information.
Yes. There was a rather interesting conversation between her and Padraig, or rather, the fact that she knew he was a Harlock.
We were just questioning her to really get the leads open about sort of what is what and what is going on, how we sourced a lot of our info. Of most concern to me on this is the secret conversation Padraig had with her as we left. What was that about?
That was really about two things. The first one question was, when would I be needing to upgrade my armor, or equipment rather, for entry into the tournament that was coming up straight afterwards on this section.
Yeah.
And the second question was, is there any way I can control Kizdine? Or gain control over her? And try and make her...
now that is another thing. So, she obviously answered that question too. God knows what she said, because I wasn't present. It's one of those leave the room things.
Basically, Padraig is pretty much getting annoyed at Kizdine. Every time he speaks to someone, it's with so little respect. That he's actually smacking her around the back of the head with his hand at this point.
Kizdine is speaking in an extremely colloquial manner. All right, mush. All right, mate.
Hey, mister.
Oi, mister.
It's
that sort of way. And Padraig's now getting to the point with her where he's getting so annoyed that they're coming under attack. They're coming to blows more, aren't they?
Yes. In the last couple of sessions, they have actually literally come to blows.
Yeah, again, the shotgun was put to Padraig's nostrils.
It's like, do that again.
Barrel for each
I will
one.
Shoot
you. Kizdine seems to keep getting the better of him. So far in these little...
It's like Tom and Jerry. Tom tries to catch that silly mouse, but the mouse keeps getting his way.
Yes. It's a little bit concerning. I can definitely see at least the Sister of Battle and probably Jerichus trying to submit some sort of psychological analysis report required for
Padraig at the very least.
The team have been through a lot, and I think what they've been through has taken its toll on Padraig's mind.
Actually, I have found one possible way to remove corruption points and insanity points.
Because that corruption's just flying up. I think it's 83 now?
Yep.
And you become
He's
like
7
100.
points off of testing for his final mutation.
Right.
And, well, they're 17 points off of going full chaos.
Bearing in mind that he and Kisdeen both now have the toxic blood mutation.
Which Kisdeen spent a fate point to negate.
In
the end. But
yeah.
Drake's like, nah.
Yeah, I think he thinks that the toxic blood's going to be useful. And it's a good one to hide if you're going to have.
Considering he wants to do something, he's been doing something like, silly. I'm going to cut my palm open and fill the blood from my hand into the tips of my bullets, giving them toxic.
Yeah, realistically though, how's he going to really alter bullets that have already been created?
Do something silly like lace it in his own blood or something like that. Lace the shell casing or the entire clip in just his blood. Or in the case of like the sanctified rounds,
it'd be like
empty the vial that has the sanctified or of holy water out.
Yeah.
And fill it up with his blood instead. But this is Pete. He comes up with these crazy ass ideas.
He really does. But you as GM, you've got to rein it, haven't you? You've got to control what it is.
Basically, if he's going to do that, it'll probably only last for the mission itself, for starters. So he'd have to be replacing them with his own blood every mission, or every session, or whatever.
And he's using heretical blood to do it.
Yes.
So by that very action is heretical.
Yes.
In itself.
Indeed.
That there was a shard of the creature, the widower, as it's called.
Yeah.
That is actually loose on the planet, following us.
Yeah.
And that we can make it manifest if we fight in the tournament. Which would be one way, perhaps.
Or try and draw it out some way, and that was one option.
Yeah, and now there was a tournament going on.
Fate's Will or something silliness like that.
Yeah, he fought in the tournament. Because that's Pete's style, he likes his tourneys.
He does, like.
If anyone remembers Dieter in their Fated Travels, you'll know what I mean.
Indeed.
So,
one-on-one bouts to the death, won himself a nice bit of money. We had a running joke at this point where Pete was pretty much cool-shotting people to the head and with his power fist and going, Shoryuken! Taking their heads off because of the fact that he had such a high amount of damage pouring in from that it basically just tore everything apart. It didn't happen all the time, however, as the final bout and the bout that came after that, he found that...
The final bout and the bout that came after that?
Yes, because it was a requested bout. That Pete was like, come on, is there anyone else who wants to fight me?
Okay, yeah.
Both of these bouts, his opponent had a lot more wounds than was required for him to one-shot them. I mean, he was going up against this massive giant of a man. If any of you have seen Immortals, think like the Minotaur guy with a giant hammer. At the table I said a larger, much younger and more muscled version of Cracticus. To describe this guy. Pretty much because he was wielding a big hammer. Now, Drake in the end basically had to take about 3 or 4 turns to kill this guy. And he went, right, how big is this guy? I was like, well, you're not going to be able to punch him in the head with this one. He said, okay, how about I punch him in the nuts? It's like, okay, yeah, you could do that. He punched him in the nuts so hard that it caused the guy to bend down, like holding his nuts, and I put on a silly accent as like, I will crush puny man.
Double Righteous Fury, wasn't it?
Double Righteous Fury!
On the 2 damages.
Yes, he rolled double 10 because it was 2d10 on this weapon, and then he smacked the guy in the face, sending him flying backwards. Because he killed the guy pretty much at this point.
Oh, Jesus.
But it was the bout after this that was a lot more interesting for Hit Pete, because he fought someone who he thought was a psyker, because he just got this feeling of the warp causing effects like that. And Pete knows how to read those. Because he has a hatred of psychers, forbidden law psychers.
Right.
And all that nonsense. And because of this, he went to punch the guy in the stomach. And when he punched him, he continued going, and the guy's body just bent like elastic. And the next turn, he was like, right, I'm going to cut him up with my chainsaw, too. In retaliation to being punched, this guy decided, like, right, I'm going to turn my hand into a giant hammer type form and smack you over the head.
Wait, because that helps us get away from the Mr. Fantastic
exactly
jokes, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
No, I'm a Skrull.
You're a super Skrull. Well, Pete was able to dodge it. Chan to the chin, Shoryuken again, and it sent the head flying up into the air, big with the neck stretching like mad, and then he just cut it off with his chainsaw because he used a swift attack because it wasn't a charge that turn.
I think he was trying to mimic Cobra Cat.
Yes, he cut its head off, and the body just basically evaporated in a violent, screaming mass of energy, if you will. You drew it out, Pete, and you pretty much destroyed it. Now, it's wondering with the group here, is like, did we actually make the beast weaker, or have we sent more of its essence to the warp so when it is released, it is stronger?
But Padraig really is getting more aggressive, isn't he?
Yes, very much so.
Needing to take out those tendencies.
Yes.
We're going to lose him to chaos, aren't we?
Probably. And that's where the adventure ended, with Pete's victory in the arena.
Yeah, we didn't really... The rest of us didn't really have a lot to do, so we were just, like, working stuff out for other things.
Kisdine decided I'm going to place a couple of bets.
Yeah. But Pete did make a lot of money, didn't he?
Yeah.
Padraig made quite a bit. We're in the midst of the investigation thus far. So we don't know what's going to come next.
Yep.
We have other places to explore. We got a few new upgrades in.
Yeah?
Let's think. Any significant things on anyone else? I got my weapon skill up to 45 and my ballistic to 50 now.
Battle Sister, Sophia, took a new faith talent that allows her to basically burn demons that attack her. Padraig ended up taking melee weapon training power so he could actually use the power fist properly. There was quite a couple of other things, but nothing of real significance in everyone else.
Well, being rank 6 now, I was able to take the Sound Constitution for my rank.
And
I grabbed Step Aside. Now that's a good one for 200 points.
Oh yeah, double.
Now that one allows me to dodge twice in a turn.
Yeah.
Instead of just the once.
And you also took Demolitions, which you bid for because it's not in the Death Adept side, is it?
Yeah, I've gone Death Adept because I looked at the other one and it just looks really pants for the type of assassin he is. He's not subtle.
Yeah.
I can see it as a lunar,
yeah,
but not for a solar.
Yeah, it doesn't have... It has some of the things you wanted, but...
Not much.
The other one had more.
Not much of what I wanted. But the other one did have the Demolitions.
Yeah.
The Free Blade.
Yeah.
So I've done a bid for it because it's in the Assassin's scheme, but it's always been, right from the beginning, part of his RP.
Yep.
That he's a Demolitions guy. That's what he will do. He'll get in and blow shit up. It's normally 200 because it's not in his package. I bid 300. It was always understood that demolition was an important integral part of him. So we went with it for 300 experience instead of the 200.
Yep.
And he's also got counter attack as well. He's picked that up for 200. Now, what the counter attack does, you can parry using your weapon skill.
Yes.
As a reaction, basically, to being hit. Just like, you can dodge as well using your agility.
Yeah.
But parry is something that everybody can do. It's an actual combat action. But it's a free sort of reactionary action, isn't it?
Yeah, it's one of those either ors with dodge or parry, you do it.
If you successfully parry, you then get a free attack back at minus 20 weapon skill for that free attack.
And parrying is a weapon skill test, if I believe, as well.
Yeah. So it's a little something extra in there. If anyone's foolish enough to actually engage with me and I can't disengage it, then I can try that.
Instead of dodging, you may parry instead.
Yeah, well, if I want a chance of doing it some damage.
Yeah. If you're like, okay, it's low on health, I can probably kill it in one strike, so let's just try and parry this and counter it.
Well, thank you very much for tuning in once more and for commenting below, if you indeed did comment below. I'm being a little presumptuous, I'm sorry. We shall continue to investigate this matter by the Emperor's will. That is indeed if he left a will. Did he leave a will? The Emperor?
I don't know, but I think he probably left quite a bit of it to Horus, maybe?
Yes. But we don't mention that name.
Oh,
no. We don't mention Horus.
No, unless we're Egyptian.
Yes, well, because Horus is the elephant in the room. Keep following, keep tuning in, and I'll see you at the...